I guess I just want to get started here with the AP top 25 polls. So let me get this right out of the gate, right to start. I really don't care that much about the top 25 poll. It's interesting, and I'll talk about it like during the season. It's interesting to see where the media is sort of putting you, right? Because that is just what it is, right? It's the AP, the writers putting together these rankings. Uh, but ultimately, given the age of college football, the only ranking that really matters is the playoff ranking. So like the AP and the college football playoff ranking, they can disagree. They don't necessarily disagree, but they can disagree. So basically, until they start releasing those, this is only sort of half useful, right? Like it just tells you where the media sees you, where the nation writ large sees you. But the other problem with them is, you know, these writers, these media guys, like they don't watch all the games. This is not just me talking. This is like them admitting this. Right? This is not like uh this is not like a new information, right? Like they're willing to admit, and I don't blame them, right? Like I don't watch all the games. I host a show where we talk about football and sports and fun and stuff. But I don't watch all the games. I don't have that time. I don't have that I'm not going to sit in my apartment for 8 hours and watch, SMU take on Liberty. I'm just not going to do it. Not going to do it. But all that being said, I'm going to take a look at these just because you're going into the season. This is basically where the media seems to put people. So the most important thing at this point would probably be the top 12 because obviously, again, this is not the playoff rankings, but 12-team playoff. So this is the teams that they think are going to make the playoffs going into the season. So number 12, you have Utah out of the Big 12, obviously. Missouri out of the SEC. Florida State. I don't know where I was. Anyway, Florida State out of the ACC. The defending champions, the University of Michigan. Number 8, Penn State. Number 7, Notre Dame. Ole Miss, number 6. Alabama, number 5. Texas, number 4. Oregon, number 3. Ohio State, number 2. And Georgia, number 1. So, right out of the gate, right out of the bat, I have to talk about the elephant in the room. I got to talk about Michigan. Michigan drops 8 spots from its last ranking of obviously being number 1 after. I don't know if I'm pretty sure they come out with rankings after the championship game. And they go from being the number 1 team to the number 9 team. Now, I think this makes some sense. And before, the Michigan fans call me Sparty McGee, like you lose your quarterback, you lose a lot of players on offense, you lose some players on defense, you lose your head coach, you lose a lot of staff members, up to and including your defensive coordinator. I don't think it's that unreasonable, right? Like, and look, like, again, the problem with these is like you're not guaranteed to be anywhere. Like any of these rankings are obviously subject to change, but I look at a team like Penn State though. Like, is Penn State really a spot better than Michigan? I don't know. Like Penn State is like they're just never. I can't stand James Franklin. He's terrible. Penn State, their offense never looks good. They're like a better looking Iowa. They are like Iowa, but with better media, with a better HR department. I don't know. I don't know how they put them above Michigan. I don't like. I get all the other things about Michigan, but at the same time, it's like, well, they are still the defending champs. They do still have a good amount of carryover, not a lot of carryover, but they got some carryover. If I had to have any qualms, I guess I'd switch those two. But then again, I also just hate Penn State, so I wouldn't even get rid of it. Away with it. In the top 4 though, you got Texas at number 4. They drop 1 spot. Oregon moves 3 spots. They go to number 3. Ohio State jumps 8 spots, which is funny because they jump to number 2. So they jump as many spots as Michigan lost. And then Georgia at number 1. So Georgia being number 1, I really don't see what the problem is. This seems to be like, if Georgia doesn't end up being number 1, whatever. I mean, they'll probably be number 2 or 3. Like, to me, it's like Yeah, I mean, it's Georgia. They're going to be very good. Kirby Smart is certainly going to have his guys ready. Carson Beck another year under his belt, and yeah, they're going to be very good. They're always very good. They're going to be very good. Ohio State at 2. So Ohio State went out. They did a lot in the portal. They got a new quarterback. I want to say this is according to them. They spent millions of dollars in the portal, maybe, or at least $1 million on the quarterback. I don't know how much they spent. They're supposed to be really good. And Ryan Day, as far as I'm concerned, like has to do something this year in order to keep his job. If he has another year like last year where doesn't win the Big Ten, doesn't beat Michigan, doesn't make it to the playoff, it might be off with Ryan Day's head. And so the standard there is fairly high. You have to do, in my opinion, you have to do one of those three things. But at this point, like now with the 12-team playoff, making the playoff really isn't as much of an achievement as it used to be. So to me, it's like you don't beat Michigan, you're in a real tough spot. If you do beat Michigan, okay, you probably live to see another day, regardless of anything else that happens in the playoff or the Big Ten. Assuming you don't just go like 7-5 and you happen to beat Michigan, that would also be bad. But I don't know. It's like something about Ohio State and Ryan Day. Like, not that he should be fired right now, but this has to be the year where he does something. Because if it's another year again of just, I don't know what I'm doing, and Kyle McCord throws an interception in the final drive of the game. Now, obviously, Kyle McCord is not on the team anymore, but I don't know. It just doesn't feel right. Texas at 4. I don't really have many comments on that. They were a playoff team. They lost in a shootout against Washington. Yeah, they're probably going to be pretty good this year. Joining the SEC, though, that could be tough. They leave the Big 12, was it? Yeah, Big 12. Join the SEC. That transition might be tough. Who knows? Hard to say at this point. And then another newcomer into not the SEC, but into the Big 10, Oregon at 3. So Oregon, similar to Texas, except that Oregon obviously did not make the college football playoff last year. I've been told they're poised to just dominate the Big Ten. Sure, yeah. I mean, they're the third ranked team in the Big Ten. They're the third ranked team in the country according to the AP, and they're the third ranked team they're the second ranked team of the Big Ten teams on the AP 25. But that's just the top 12. Those obviously those are going to be subject to change, especially when you get near the bottom. Is Mizzou going to stay down there? Is Utah a bit of a sleeper? Are they going to rise up a little bit? Is Penn State going to drop? Is Michigan going to drop? Is Michigan going to go up? Is Ole Miss going to go up? Either, like, you really don't know. I mean, you got a team like Alabama, new head coach, Jalen Milroe, second year. Is Kalen DeBoer going to figure it out with him? There's a lot of question marks. And obviously, again, there's another playoff ranking, so it's not indicative of who's going to make the playoff anyway. But outside of that, there's a few that I wouldn't say I have like massive qualms with, but like just teams that I got question marks about. So USC sits at 23, which is where they ended up last year. I get it. Lincoln Riley, he's going to have a good offense almost certainly, but he's not going to have Caleb Williams. And that's going to change a lot. Because they were losing with Caleb Williams. And now they don't have Caleb Williams. So, now granted, they also have a new defensive coordinator. So maybe they'll have something figured out there. But I don't know. Things don't feel right. Meanwhile, Kerry Carpenter just hit a home run there. Good welcome back for him. Anyway, I don't know. Things just don't feel right for USC. And entering the Big Ten, who knows? They're going to go from California weather to having to play. I don't know what their schedule is, but I'm assuming they're going to have to play one cold weather game. And assuming it's not against like Indiana, it might be tough. But who knows? Maybe if they're bad, it might actually be tough. Hey, don't mess with the Hoosiers. And also Iowa is in the top 25. They moved down one spot from their last ranking. They were, I guess, 24th. No comment. And by no comment, I mean comment. Like, what? Apparently, they scored 14 touchdowns on all last season. I didn't know that was possible. I genuinely did not think that was like, and maybe I got that number wrong, but Okay. Watching Iowa football, like when Michigan State played Iowa last year, that was truly the battle of the ages because it was basically which team's special team or which team's defense is going to like fold first, right? Because you're both playing against terrible it's two bad offenses up against it up against each other, and neither one is they're just getting in each other's way essentially. So yeah. Um, and then I wanted to one last thing here on this. On the other teams receiving votes. Now I almost never look at this, but there is one vote from a team for a team on this that I simply don't understand. The other ones I can at least live with. You have your Louisville's, yeah, okay. They made the ACC championship game last year. That makes some sense. Uh, SMU, they're usually a pretty solid team. Liberty as well. Washington, the runner-ups last year, but they lose their coach, lose their quarterback, lose a lot of players, but still probably a decent program. But they're entering into a different guy. Anyway, Wisconsin, Nebraska, some of these teams. One vote was cast to Colorado. I don't know if you guys watched a lot of college football last year, but Colorado sucked like really bad. And I don't know if maybe Dion has infiltrated the voting rooms. Maybe he's got an insider. He's like, hey, I need you to vote. Coach Prime needs you to vote for Colorado because Coach Prime is gonna put it together. And anybody who says otherwise, I'm gonna I don't know. I feel like it's turning into Hulk Hogan. Just I'm gonna come after you, brother. Like that. I don't. Why did Colorado get a vote? They won 4 games. I think they. Hold on. Am I stupid? Record by year. Hold on. I'm not gonna say anything until I confirm this. Okay. And okay. And there we go. Yeah, they won as many games as Michigan State last year. And so basically, and now I understand they have more talent than Michigan State did last year. And they have more talent probably going into this year. But I mean, they might have more overall talent. They might have more or better in aggregate or rather where it matters actually. They might have more talent. But the problem is I don't know if they have an offensive line. I don't know if Dion cares about offense. I'm not sure if he's aware that it is a useful thing to have. Now, look, Coach Prime could make me look like an idiot by the time week 4 or 5 comes around. But man, oh man, it just looks bad. It looks terrible, and I don't know what they did to get a vote in the AP. Oh, he's safe. Wow, that's close. But geez, Louise, I mean, even Auburn, I kind of get Auburn sucked last year too, and I don't know if Peyton Thorne is the truth, but Auburn got 2 votes, right? Okay, I mean, it's a little much, but okay, I guess I could at least see it. Colorado getting a vote absolutely makes no sense to me. I just don't understand it, and maybe I'll never understand it. I don't know. Maybe some of the few Colorado fans will come across this video and say, no, I'm telling you, Dion, he's gonna be the truth. Just you wait. And I don't know. Dion just feels to me like a media coach. He will get you some primetime games, and he did do that last year. He got them primetime games. He got them big noon games. But the problem is, he got them primetime games without primetime quality entertainment. It was just them getting destroyed. Basically, after that Oregon game, I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm done. It was okay, he beat TCU. That was impressive. But then TCU turned out to be not that good. And then he beat Nebraska. I was like, all right, okay, maybe there's something here. And now I'm just at every step, he just seems to be stepping on a rake. It's like Sideshow Bob. I don't know. So look, once again, just to round this out, does the AP poll really mean much of anything? No, especially not at this stage. But It's kind of interesting. So there you go. Hi, it's me again. If you enjoyed what you just saw, hit the like and subscribe button. We do live shows every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Hope to see you there.